And you are welcome back. It is Star Corner here on iBrandTV Daybreak, and we have another star to speak with on today's edition. He is a music producer, a songwriter. He's done a couple of good stuff for himself, and I'm talking about Oluwo Shoko. Please forgive me if I murdered your name. GBK Olushola. You're welcome. Thank you so much for coming. So let's talk about your craft, music. How long have you been doing this?
Professionally, I've been making music for about 5-6 years. But in total, I've been making music since 2010.
Okay.
So I had a lot of time to practice, fail, then study what I was doing, and then succeed at it.
Yeah, study. Talking about study, I see that you went to a music school as well.
Yeah.
How did you get to that point, and what drove you into it?
I got to a point where I was tired of people not knowing what to make for me or how to make what I wanted to make. So I had to just go back and then study like the actual music itself, what is music, all of that, the whole background of it. So as soon as I got the understanding of that, I just went.
So it kicked off Papigunzo phase.
Exactly.
Tell us about Papigunzo. What's the difference between Papigunzo and Olushola?
Before Papigunzo, there was actually Godo, and there was JB. So JB started the whole thing before I became a professional, went to school to study. And then I was Godo for a while. I put out 2 projects under Godo, did very well. But then I was sharing name with someone in Argentina, I think, someone in South America. And he didn't want to let loose. He didn't want to let the name go. So I had to change my name because he was getting some of my royalties and stuff. So I had to change my name, and it's the best decision I've made so far.
So what are the things you've put out under Papigunzo?
Under Papigunzo, I just put out my album, Rhythm and Piano. I've produced a couple of records for Vector, One Day, Tito Simos. I was also Cloud Africa's Artist of the Month, same with Ox Africa. And a couple of, I just came out of camp with Beke. She performed at Davido's album launch, and a few more stuff that I can't talk about right now. Okay, I also recorded Gratitude for Magics for Maven Records. I have a couple of records with Mavens, but I can't talk about that right now.
Why can't you? I mean, you're selling your market.
Maven is a very serious body, and we have a non-disclosure agreement.
Okay, that makes sense.
I can talk about some things, but not everything, especially stuff that's not out yet.
I understand.
Yeah.
Okay, so that makes sense. But because of time, we're actually pressed with time. What should we be expecting from Papi from here and now?
A new single with Lord Reyes. She just won the Hennessy Artistry for 2020, so I just put a new single with her. That's out right now. The album is out. The deluxe is coming out later this year. And shout out to Danley. I just submitted Danley's project to distribution. So there's a project coming out. She's on that one, the Coast label also. Great songwriter. She was one of the people that wrote that Money song, One Day's song. Yeah, she's one of the people that wrote that.
Great song, actually. One Day kind of seems to just have this thing in his veins,
Yeah, he's natural. When you see One Day record and see how he makes his music, it might seem funny, but there's a certain intentional professionalism that goes into all of that funny business. So I think, he made me know how to make music in a fun way. So I like that.
You've done all these collaborations with these guys, who are out there, the buddies who are making the rounds in music industry in Nigeria. Amazing stuff. I mean, Nigerian music industry has taught every other person what it's like to collaborate, and what the power of collaboration is, and how far it can shoot you. And I mean, for Africa generally, Nigerian music industry has put us out there in the world. So talking about out there in the world, if you were going to have a collaboration with an international act, who would it be and why?
Luckily, I already have one with Adelina the Mermaid. She's one of Red One's artists.
Okay.
She also did the World Cup song, so I wrote a song for her. I also got considered for a Grammy nomination last year, for a song I wrote for AK Centric. Unfortunately, we didn't make the nomination list, but I'm grateful all the same. I also have a couple of ideas sketched down with Wale. I know you know Wale.
Yeah, Wale.
Yeah, he's artist Ade. They were in Nigeria for a bit, so we had a couple of things done. But then who I want to work with, obviously the the established names already. I want to work with people like Kanye West because I think I make music kind of like him. I like to experiment. I like to sample. I like to take something from back then and then make it into something brand new. So I like his mind. Quincy Jones, if he's still alive, I pray.
You'd have.
Yeah, I want to, yeah, because he's the one that taught me that being a record producer, you can be a record producer without touching an instrument. So that's a level that I want to grow into. So yeah, people like that I want to work with.
All right.
I would
Sam?
want to ask you this question. I can see your flair in music. I can see that passion you have. But what can you say looking at the contribution music has, you know, to the GDP? Is it really something you could say is worth it?
Yes, I think we're actually missing out on the power of music economically, because in Nigeria we don't have any record company. We also don't have any real publishing and royalty collection companies in Nigeria. So a lot of the monies we're making here actually first goes out of Nigeria, gets part of it taken, and then comes back to you here. So whatever amount you're making here is just a subsidiary of what you should actually be making if you had your own company in Africa or Nigeria. Shout out to people like South Africa who are taking the initiative. They have a publishing company there. But I think the rest of the African continent needs to wake up to how much music can do economically for the nation. I mean, we have people that are making, I mean, a whole year's white collar jobs and in one show. And you know, so I know people that have made, like, off one song, they've made close to 100 million. It's not going, all of it's not going into your pocket anyways, because you spend some back into
it's
the
a
music.
chain.
Yeah, but I mean, if you can make 100 million off something you sat in your room and just did, so imagine how much more it will be when there's actually a whole company that is making sure everything is done right and done the right way. So I think it's very important and is a very good contributor to our economy. So, yeah.
All right. That said, we're wrapping up now. Final question. You've come to a point. You know, you've done well for yourself, and that's very commendable. But there are people who, okay, before I get to that, there is a place you want to be at, but you are at a place right now, and there are people who their morning, afternoon, and night prayers is to be where you are right now. What is your word to those people looking up to you?
Be sure of what you want to do, because like I said, I was JB first, and I had to fail because there was a lot of things I didn't know. There's a lot of things I'm learning on the go. So I think the first thing you need to do is be sure that you actually want to make music for whatever reason you choose to make the music, and not just because you want to look cool, because it's easy to look cool and fall off.
Sure.
So be sure of what you want to do, put your mind to it, and treat music like every other job. A lot of people treat music like it's extracurricular and all of that, but like, I mean, look at me, I'm in a white shirt today. I'm not just out here just, you understand?
Wearing sweatpants.
So pay you like an actual job.
Okay, I think that's the word to take home today. Treat music like an actual job, and it will pay you like an actual job. It should actually be a job, because that thing knows you.